Hey, I'm Dr. Susanna Bozzoni, and today we're going to talk about focus and the ability to pay attention. Think about that. When was the last time you tried to really pay attention to something? And how many times did you get dinged or rung or whatever? How many times were you distracted the last time you really tried to pay attention to something for a prolonged amount of time? How many of us are struggling to feel that sense of focus? Just think today how hard it is compared to 20 years ago. If you were alive 20 years ago. And it is significantly harder. In fact, the data supports that our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. Far less than half what they were 20 years ago. And it's less than 1 minute that we can sustain our attention today in 2023. Holy cow, right? And not only that, if you do find that wonderful state of attention, what happens if you get a text or a ding? It takes you an estimated 25 plus minutes to restore that feeling of focus and being in the zone. So that's huge. So recognize what we can do to shift that, because this is the normal state. This is not coming from criticism. This is also not coming from the state of all technology is bad. But we have to recognize, is technology working for us and giving us power and efficiency? Or is it fighting against that? Is it so much a distraction that we've lost our ability to focus on what matters most, to try to regain that brain that we had back in the day, right? Well, it's really hard in the 21st century. So I'm going to give you 3 tips to start with to regain that focus and clear that brain fog that so many of us are struggling with today. Number 1, again, technology. This is a really, really big deal. And it can be a power or it can be impeding our power, creating us to be powerless against its unfortunately addictive nature. So step number 1 is recognize what your relationship is with technology, whether it's social media, whether it's just having your beeps on, your dings and alerts on, so that you're receiving texts, you're receiving messages. How much are you aware of those things coming in? And can you shut off those alerts if you haven't done that already? Take that a step further. Put walls, really physical barriers around your technology when you're trying to focus. Right? Give yourself X amount of time. What's right for you? What's feasible for you? So you can do something that that requires your focus to help you on that journey to do what you're here to do, right? So if we find meaning, if we know what I'm here to do on this planet, what is my purpose? What do I find meaning with? We've got to give it the attention it deserves. So set those barriers for you. 2 hours in the morning, for example. Put your phone in a box. Do not allow yourself to access it. Certainly trying to put the blue lights, whether it's phones or screens or computers, out of your reach, the beginning of your day and the end of your day. So the beginning of your day, if we call those bookends on your day, your morning routine, what could that be to really get you out in natural light, right? To engage you and connect you with nature, to get grounded outside in natural light will help you sleep better. And we'll talk about that because that's tip number 2 for optimizing focus. So getting outside first thing in the morning in natural light, 5 minutes on a sunny day, 20 minutes on a gray day, is a great way to start. And then unplugged, that's big. And then before bed, unplug yourself 1 hour, ideally before your bedtime. Read a book. This is a great time to really practice that focus, getting really deep into reading. Have a non-negotiable. I'm gonna read, 2 pages? 2 pages in a book, not on a screen, in a book before bed. Boom. Then you cut down that light. You have red, orange, calming light before bed that you're reading an actual book with, because fewer and fewer people today are reading books. And this is contributing to our loss of focus. So shutting off those blue lights before bed will help that sleep. And that is pivotal to regenerate the brain during the night, to give you that clearance of the brain and clear away the brain fog. Finally, last tip is make sure that you're eating sugar stabilizing foods, right? If you are eating highly processed foods that aren't real food and have a ton of ingredients you don't understand, it spikes your sugar up, spikes your insulin up, and then you crash down immediately after or within about maybe 2 hours after. Then you can't think straight. Not only that, you might have senses of anxiety, which further our ability to connect with what matters most. So how do you stabilize your sugar? Add fiber to it, baby. Every time you eat, make sure you never pass up a fiber opportunity. Ground flax at breakfast, vegetables at lunch, have some beans at dinner. What does that look like for you? These can be easy tips, but your focus deserves these tips, and you will feel so much better when you're able to connect more rather than disconnect to what matters most. I hope this helps you today. Have a wonderful, inspired day.